Today, we will discuss some important literary terms. So, the first term is absurd drama. Actually, these absurd dramas were written after the Second World War, and these dramas deal with meaningless action, illogical dialogue, existential despair, and there is no clear plot line in an absurd drama. Okay? And for example, we can take Samuel Beckett's Waiting for Godot or Harold Pinter's The Birthday Party. Okay, now the next term is closet drama. Okay, so it's a play that is, written to be read rather than to be performed on stage. তাহলে যে ড্রামাগুলো লেখা হয় মূলত পড়ার জন্য, স্টেজে পারফর্ম করার জন্য নয়, সেই ধরনের ড্রামাগুলোকে আমরা বলবো ক্লোজেট ড্রামা। And for example, we can take Milton Sampson agonists or P.B. Shelley's Prometheus Unbound. Okay, so a play or drama written to be read rather than to be performed on stage. Okay, and for example, we can take Sampson agonists or Prometheus Unbound. Our next term is the Cavalier poets. Okay, so Cavalier poets, they are a group of 17th century poets who supported Charles the First. Okay, and their poems are generally witty or elegant, and they wrote amorous verses. Okay, and we can say Robert, for an example, we can take Robert Herrick's poem To the Virgins to Make Much of Time. Okay, term is Cockney School of Poetry. Okay, so Cockney School of Poetry poets. So a group of London-based poets, a group of 19th century London-based poets. Okay, they are called Cockney School of Poets. Okay, so and their poems are generally vulgar, and their poems lack refinement. So a group of 19th century London-based poets are called Cockney School of Poets. Okay, and their poems lack refinement, and they're full of vulgarity. Okay, vulgar elements in there. Okay, and we can say take an example, and who are the important figures of Cockney School? Leigh Hunt, okay, and then John Keats and Hazlitt. Okay, Hazlitt, Leigh Hunt, and John Keats are included, okay, in Cockney School of Poets, and they are a group of 19th century London-based poets. Okay, the next term is campus novels. So these campus novels generally deal with academic life and intellectual snobbery. Okay, and these campus novels are generally set in college campus or university campus. Okay, so that is why they are called campus novels. Okay, for example, we can say Lucky Jim by Kingsley Amis. Okay. Okay, next term is confessional poets. So actually, a group of mid 20th century American poets are called confessional poets, and in their poems we find personal issues, and their poems deal with taboo subjects. Okay, taboo subjects means suicide, okay, mental illness, sexuality, okay, marital strife, depressions. Okay, so their poems deal with all these elements, taboo subjects. And now we will discuss another important term, that is malapropism. And malapropism is named after a character called Malapro from Sheridan's drama The Rivals. Okay, so malapropism means the humorous misuse of a word by confusing it with similar sounding word. Okay, so if we take an example, he is the pineapple of politeness. Okay, so here we are misusing the word pineapple. Okay, rather we should use he is the pinnacle of politeness. Okay, so pinnacle means highest point of something. Okay, so here we are confusing the word pineapple, okay, with the similar sounding word pinnacle. Okay, so So the character Malafrof, okay, often used, you know, these kind of sentences, okay, in this drama that I, okay, that is why, this term is derived from her name, Malafrof, okay, and it is named Malafrof. Okay. Our next term is Bildung Roma. Okay, so Bildung Roma means this in these kind of novels, what happens? Uh, it talks about these novels talk about the moral and psychological growth of the protagonist, okay, from their youth to their adulthood. Okay, so Bildung Roma talks about the moral and psychological growth of the protagonist from youth to the adulthood. So, for example, we can take uh, Emma by Jane Austen, David Copperfield by Charles Dickens, okay, Moll Flanders by Daniel Defoe. Okay, another important term that is comedy of manners. Okay, so in comedy of manners, comedy is mixed with a sense of threat or danger. Okay, and in comedy of manners, you will find tension and sudden violence. Okay. And the perfect example of comedy of manners is Harold Winter's drama, The Birthday Party. Okay, where comedy is a mixed with a sense of threat and danger. Okay, the next term is university wits. So university wits refers to a group of Elizabethan poets and dramatists who had all been studied either at Oxford University or at Cambridge University. That is why they are called university wits. And who are the important members? John Lilly, uh, Robert Greene, Thomas Lodge, Thomas Nash, George Field, and Christopher Mall. They are included in university wits. Okay, and the next term is anthropomorphism. Okay, so anthropomorphism means when we give uh, human qualities, okay, to non-human entities, or simply when non-human entities are personified, okay, like natural forces, okay, any object or animals. If we look at George Orwell's novel, Animal Farm, okay, in this novel, the animals, they take the role of human beings. Okay, they speak. Okay, in Rudyard Kipling's The Jungle Book, the animals also speak. Okay, that means they are personified. Okay, and the next term is the Bloomsbury group. The Bloomsbury group, uh, actually, they are a group of 20th century poets who lived in Bloomsbury, okay, which is in London. Who are the prominent members of this group, Bloomsbury group? They are Lytton Strachey, then Leonard Woolf, Virginia Woolf, and E.M. Hustos. Okay, and these writers talked about the personal freedom. Actually, they valued personal freedom and individual conscience. Okay, thank you.